As we're starting back up again today with the Leaving Eden series. This is the fifth video. I had some plans for today's video, but those plans went to the wayside as I started reading an American newspaper talking about the culture. And this is something I think is very important. I'm not going to give the name of this publication, but today the newspaper talked about a thing called a polyamorous marriage, and talking about how gay marriage was yesterday's news. Now it's group marriage, and I'm finding that to be quite interesting. Now, polyamorous marriage, as I just mentioned, is group marriage. The claim is that that love is not just between a man and woman or two people. I believe that marriage is for a man and woman who truly love each other, not for just two people who love each other. But the claim is that marriage should be for everyone who loves each other. If you are a man and you love multiple women, you should be allowed to marry those women. If you're a woman and you love multiple men, you should be allowed to marry those men. And, you know, you get the drift. It's like ads. If you like a man and woman, you can marry the man and woman, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to say this now. I'm about to be labeled a hater, but I'm not. I don't hate people. I love people. I just happen to not agree with certain lifestyles because they're not biblical. They're not created by God. They are from our fall from Eden. See, men, we're being taught a lie today that if we disagree with any one part of a culture, then we are labeled bigoted. We're labeled hateful. And that's simply not true. Not everybody can agree on everything. Not everybody can be for every aspect of a culture. And Christianity definitely can't be for every aspect of a culture. Because sometimes, a majority of those times, that culture can be drawing itself further and further away from God. We have to love the people in the culture. We have to love the fact that they were creating God's image. But we cannot go and just say, hey, well, God loves you, so therefore I support what you're doing. I support the polyamorous marriage. I support your drug addiction. I support this. I support you running naked down the street. I support every war that's going on. In Romans chapter 1, verses 24 through on, Paul actually makes a statement that God started giving man over to his desires that were taking him away from God, and that we started becoming futile, that we started worshiping the creation instead of the creator. Men and women started going with their own sexes, and so on and so forth. Hope was basically lost, and that's what a lot of this is. We lose hope. We lose sight of God, and we lose hope, and we start to listen to the lie that everything in society is permissible. It doesn't matter. Even in the church, we are starting to get that mindset. I know one church, the youth group, started learning that it was okay to do whatever you wanted as long as you weren't hurting others. God didn't care. God would still forgive you every time. Complete abuse of grace, I might add. There is such thing as abuse of grace. We start in on this thing that we are going to push God out of our culture, and then the things that take us away from God start moving in, and then we find ourselves in a pickle. Historically speaking, everything that I've just said has happened. Everything I've been talking about has happened multiple times over. The Medo-Persian Empire, Greece, Rome, the barbarians. I mean, you can go into every culture and you can see where they fell from. And it was because of lack of immorality. The modern cultures that we see today that once believed highly in God, you can see the fall economically, socially, etc., because they decided to take on a role that was not meant for them to take on, that was never meant for them to take on. God tells us to go after him, to seek him. One of the American founding fathers, John Adams, actually said that this culture, or this republic, would stand as long as the people stayed moral and godly. Pretty much, you start pushing God out, America is going to topple. And we're seeing that every day, it seems. America is toppling. We're getting involved in wars that we can't sustain. And trust me, I am pro war on terror. I do support the war on terror, the mission to stop terrorism. But it seems that as we're fighting it, we're being pulled into things that have nothing to do with our mission to end terrorism. We're seeing heartlessness. We're seeing multiple abortions. We're seeing a culture of death. Now, I'm going to get onto that culture of death probably in the next video. But we see the hopelessness, and we see ourselves going down a path that we cannot escape from. And then we are truly seeing that the Lord is on his way back for his church very soon. It says in the Bible that, I will get the exact chapter, it says that everything before the Lord returns, it'll be as if it were the day of Noah. Yeah, you know how that ended. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see you guys in the next video. Be blessed, my friend. Be blessed. Sean, signing out. Now do I turn...